Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. I'm not even going to do the sound or any of that. I'm just going to get into it. Thanks for tuning in, all of you beautiful people and all that good stuff. Let's see what's coming up. Podcast happy hours this Saturday. Look in the episode notes. It'll be there. It's on Autumn's platform. Spoken Word Night is next Friday. Again, look in the episode notes for time. It'll be me, Penrose, LNZ. So thanks for tuning in. If ever, this is probably going to be a short episode. And when I say that this week, like most likely it will be, simply because if ever there was going to be a week that y'all would not get an episode, this would be the week. And if ever there was a time that, or I guess I should say, I'm thankful to all of you who come here and I really talk about my life and what I'm going through. And this is what y'all come here for. I'm going to try not to. So I can only give y'all what I have. I always say this. The show has become a lot more diverse in the different types of things that as far as episode types and series, the more I just am in the creative space, depending on what's going on in my life, whatever. So today is Wednesday and it's late Wednesday. Usually YouTube would have already been uploaded by now, and I'm just recording. This has been the most insane week. And so for most of y'all who know and have followed my journey or know me or whatever, you know that almost 7 years ago, my ex-husband / my daughter's their father was killed. So most of y'all know that I've done different episodes, talked about that or whatever. And so I've known their family since I was 17. And when I think about it, I actually might have been 16 because I feel like I met them before my 17th birthday. Nevertheless, I'm 41, so that's a couple decades and then some. And how I met him is through his older brother. And so I became his friend first. I was family now, but I met him and his baby mama, but then just girlfriend. Yeah, when I was like 16, 17, other people or whatever. But he is also how I met my son's dad. So like I would have been friends with him. Sorry, I'm super distracted. I would have been friends with him regardless of either of my exes. And then since my ex's passing, he's been a constant, just, if I'm honest, he's been the only person who's consistently kept up with me. The girls would call, and when he would call, there'd be times we would talk for hours about literally everything. I would talk to him about podcasting, my business, these kids, especially when Janae has gone through whatever was going on in my life. I would talk to him about and niggas that get on my nerves, online dating, that was my friend for so many years. And man, I found out Tuesday that he passed away, and I don't I don't remember feeling angry instantly when the girl's dad was killed. I think that was like the first super super close death I had ever been through. I remember I cried immediately, just like I cried immediately when I found out my brother-in-law passed. But I am pissed, y'all. And why I'm pissed is one, like, how the fuck, and I'm trying not, I told you I'm trying not to cuss. I'm not like censoring myself. I'm trying to just not cuss in general, not because of the show or whatever. I'm not censoring myself. I'm not, I can only give y'all what I have. But like, how the fuck has this family, how are both of them gone? And like, he was my kid's favorite uncle, and his brother, my ex, was um his kid's favorite uncle. So how have these kids, 22 to, I think his youngest is like 17, 16 at the youngest, how have these kids like lost such important people in their lives in such a short amount of time? How has my mother-in-law buried two of her kids, like half her kids, because she has four kids? How has their dad buried two sons by the same baby mama? You know what I'm saying? Like, how has that happened in such a short amount of time? And then when I think about it, I'm like, him being there for everybody else, because that's stuff we would talk about, like us being there for, not necessarily me being there for his family, but just like in general, all the people that like we try to be there for and do. Like, how is the person who was like the constant for me, like when my youngest, and like her behavior, a lot of things she does will remind me of her dad. And I would never say that to him, but it's funny because when I would tell him what she would do, he just like her dad, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, y'all. So that's been my week. Today I felt that happened Tuesday, so the day after Valentine's Day, and it's so wild because I woke up early that morning. Like, my sleep schedule has been like so stupid prior to that, where I would be up super late, so like up till like 3, 4, like can't sleep, mind just going. And it's so weird because Valentine's Day night, I just remember thinking like, man, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I don't want to be up thinking about, there's so much going on. Like, this last month has been the hardest month, and I'm not going to talk about any of the other stuff because some of it's not even like my business. It's stuff my kids are going through or whatever, and it doesn't matter. But like the last month has been, I would say, maybe like the last two, no, like, yeah, the last month has been like the hardest month I've ever had in life. This is a very hard season that I've been walking through, and I talk about it a little on here, but not like fully or whatever. But I guess put it to you like this: I'm not a person who really cries often, and in the last month, I'm not gonna say I've cried every day because that wouldn't be completely accurate. But every other day would be accurate if I, averaged it out or whatever. Yeah, it's been a hard month, and so I just remember Valentine's Day night being like, man, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I don't feel like thinking about this, that, and the other. I just want to go to sleep. I'd rather wake up early. Like, if I'm gonna be in my thoughts, I'd rather wake up early than go be up all night. And it's crazy because I just kind of fell asleep, but then I woke up at 6 something in the morning, even though that's not what my alarm was set for. But I'm kind of glad I had that time to cry about all the other stuff that I was already crying about and just process and pray and whatever. And then I don't even know what made me hop on Facebook. And then that's when I seen that my other brother-in-law had posted that he passed. And then I'm like, okay, maybe because his nickname was Fat Boy, and so it said some R.I.P. Fat Boy, and I'm like, wait, what? So I commented on it, but then I'm like, okay, maybe somebody else has that nickname too, because like not Fat Boy, like he didn't pass. So then I DM'd his baby mama, like all I said was say it ain't so, and she was like it is. So that's kind of been my week. Like I said, if ever there was a week, and it's not even because it's because I can only give y'all what I have to give, and y'all know this show isn't even for y'all. It's for me. It's a therapeutic outlet for me. But like when I don't know, like I haven't experienced something like this. Like I've lost other people. Don't get me wrong, y'all remember my uncle died, and my other uncle died, and whatever. But man, dude, like decades of memories. There was a point in time when, like, when me and his brother were together, there was a point in time when like I was around their family more than my own family because we're not from here. So we don't have a ton of extended family. So like holidays and this, that, and the other, I would be with them. There was a point when me and his brother were together where like we lived in the same we actually lived in the projects, public housing or whatever, but we lived in the same whatever. So kids birthdays, whatever, like our kids grew up together because our kids are around the same ages. Like one of his baby mamas, we were all three of my kids, so including my son, we were pregnant at the same time. And my older two, I like they're older two, but then for some reason the youngest flipped it, and his birthday is in May instead of, and Janae's isn't till October. So yeah, it's man, that's been my week. So if you're a praying good vibes person, if you could be praying for me, my kids, his kids, mom, siblings, like anybody who loved whatever. But it's not even just about it being his death, because it's just so wild. Like there's this picture that I posted on Facebook, and there's two pictures that I had. And like back in the day, cell phones, like when my kids were little, I don't have a bunch of pictures from when they were little. Like I have some I don't even know where they're at, but cell phones weren't like they are now, where I have thousands of pictures just from since having whatever phone. So back when my kids were little, I had whatever pictures here and there that I took wherever I took them. I don't even know. I remember I had a digital camera at point in time, and there's this picture that took, gosh, of Jamel. That's my ex, Fat Boy, but his real name was Jared. So I had a picture of them two. So it's them two, and it's my daughters, and it's four of his kids. So that's not all their kids, you know what I'm saying? Because my ex, he had I want to get this right. So he has seven kids living. One passed away, and then his brother has seven kids. So that's a lot of kids between the two of them that are like fatherless now, you know what I'm saying? But there's this picture that I took of my daughters and their dad and their uncle and four of his kids. And it was when they were little, like the girls had to be like 3 and 4 or something like that. And it was in front of Fat Boy's house where they lived at the time. And so I took that picture whenever. I don't even remember when I found it. I think I found it when Jabel died because then you start looking for pictures. And then was it a year? It was, I think, 3 years ago because it was before the pandemic. Is the last time we actually saw him in person. We've talked on the phone and all that, but the last time we actually spent time with him, um, he went. I mean, like we went to his house. He came to our house. Was 2019, and I took this picture that, man, I'm so grateful that I took this picture of the girls and I think three of their cousins and him. And so I posted both of those pictures on Facebook. It's just, and like, how are they both gone? You know what I'm saying? It's just, and so when I think about that, it makes me like mad. And I know there's so many stages in grief, you know what I'm saying? But the only thing I could say that I'm grateful for, and this has nothing to do with that he's in a better place or any of that. I know he is, but that's not what I'm about to say. The only thing I'm grateful for is that because I've gone through this before with their dad, I know what I feel like I could have did better as far as with grieving. Like I shut a lot of people out because that was the first time I had ever been through that. And like so many people would, oh, what can we do for you? And the only thing I could think of was, I mean, you can't bring him back, so I don't want nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And I shut a lot of people out then, and then you get to this point where you feel isolated, and then you feel like, well, dang, it's like to reach out now seems weird or whatever because it's been however long, and so I'm glad I know that, so that this time, and it just worked out crazy that I saw like things were already in motion for me to be forced to leave the house. And instead of, I mean, I'm talking, there were weddings I didn't go to. There were just events, birthday parties, whatever, that people that I just, grief had me like in a sinkhole. And because I know how detrimental that was, because there were already things planned, I've been able to be around people and like let people love on me. And shout out to my sister. She sent me a Grubhub card. She just happened to FaceTime me yesterday because I had FaceTimed her over the weekend because we are supposed to talk whenever we try to schedule these things and we both forgot. Um I got my nails done yesterday. I love my nail tech, and it's crazy because it had been a while since I had seen her because she got sick, and then there was a flood in the shop for my next appointment. And so, yeah, I hadn't seen her in a while. And so it just so happened that the day he passed, this appointment was already scheduled. So that, like, a fresh set of nails, if you could see it, yes, got the orange. Like, it just makes me feel better. And then my godmom, I've talked about Miss Trish on here. I told her today, but we're just gonna update your title to godmom. I'm proclaiming you as my godmom. She's somebody who I met when I was like 15, so she knew him. She knew, knows his baby mama or whatever. Well, one of his baby mamas, but I met her when I was 15. She was like had a youth group, and I was a part of it. I was her first youth group, so, and I'm her favorite. And I don't just say that, like I really am her favorite, and that's been my claim forever. Could nobody tell me I wasn't her favorite? And then she has been more vocal about it. Furthermore, I'm accepted by her kids. Like they understand that how much I just love her and whatever. And we went to lunch today, and that was already scheduled. So like we talked about all kinds of stuff, but of course, we talked about that. And then that's the thing too, because I used to feel like, well, people don't want to hear about this stuff or whatever, but I realized that's not true. Like the people that care about you, they want to hear about what's going on with you. And then shout out to the group chat. I don't even like calling them like it's so funny because we have a retreat. It's going to be an annual retreat next month, and initially we named it. Man, we planned this so long ago. Thank God. Initially, we called it like the podcast happy hour retreat, but now we're like, no, this is like a friends retreat. Like, yeah, we still do podcast happy hour, but even if we could go without that, I do it, of course, but I don't care about it to like we would not stop being friends if I feel like even if like one of us was like, well, I don't want to do that anymore, it wouldn't change our dynamics because we talk all the time anyway. But yeah, so the group chat I we'll call like emergency meetings or whatever. And I was like, is anybody free for an emergency meeting? And they hopped on and I just kind of told them like everything that's been going on. Cause the thing about being at my mom's house is that, um, and also working from home and stuff like that, and plus other stuff that's going on is that there's rare times that I'm ever truly alone. Like, I feel like I could just talk and say whatever and nobody's going to hear me. And I mean, this isn't my house. So, I don't expect that. So I've been holding in a lot of stuff because there just wasn't space to really talk to anybody about it, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to them. They, hopped on today. So like I'm grateful that I know that I have to let people in, that I have to be vulnerable. It's something I've grown in over the past 2+ years anyway. If you're an OG listener, you know that that's all I used to talk about in the beginning of the show was how I struggle with being vulnerable. And it's still something that I have to be intentional about. It's still something I have to choose to do because by default and like to want to protect myself, it's easier to just not. But you really like do yourself a disservice and miss out on people really like loving on you. And like shout out to Jay. I don't even know if she would want me to tell y'all this, but then again she probably wouldn't care. But sometimes like when people do stuff for me, I don't know if they want other people, I don't know. But anyways, I don't care, she'd be all right. Shout out to her. She sent us DoorDash today, so she DoorDashed us some food, and like it was Mexican food, which I had Italian food earlier when I went to lunch with my godmom. Ate pasta, breadsticks, soup. Didn't get salad. Like I didn't care. Then I had Mexican food, so I had some super fries or something. They had quesadilla, a churro, like, and I'm not gonna eat like that, like ridiculously, because I really can't anymore. Like my stomach can't tolerate it. But it was okay for me today to like eat comfort food. You know what I mean? It was okay for me yesterday when it happened to not work. Like I normally work on stuff about 6 days a week, and Saturday's my only day that I don't. And I uploaded the some spoken word videos that had already been edited the night before, thank God. So all I had to do was just upload. I did that while I was FaceTiming my sister, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything else today. And so then I watched the rest of Insecure. Shout out to 12 Kyle for putting me on to that show because I didn't start watching it until it ended. I'm sad it's over. I like loved it. Got to binge it though, so I got to watch back to back episodes. So I had like 2 episodes left. So I watched the last 2 episodes. I watched this week's Tommy show, which I love. I mean, that's the one I've been waiting for anyway. If anybody knows what it is, y'all know I was Team Tommy when it was Tommy and Ghost, like beefing in Power Book 1. Like that's just my guy. So so happy that his show is out. I love how I can tell that it's tailored, like it's different. It doesn't, like, yeah, of course they mention things from Power and stuff comes up, but you could tell it's like different. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily, whereas Tariq's picked up and was like, it felt the same thing the first season. Tommy's feels different, and I like that. Raising Kanan, of course, felt different. BMF, I'd never watched that because I got into you doing those recaps and whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, if you're a praying person or whatever, that would be appreciated. I appreciate everybody who's like reached out or actually tweeted it out, and everybody who's responded or whatever. I kind of just liked everybody's stuff. I try to sometimes be that person to respond to a lot of stuff that people like say or whatever. Um, but I appreciate it. um all the kind words, whatever, because you don't have to interact with anything I put out there. Like, you could scroll and act like you didn't see it, because I do that, not with tragic stuff, but just if I see something dumb that I'm like, I'm not about to obviously ever argue with anybody on Twitter, because what the hell. But if I'll just scroll, act like I didn't see it. What I also wish, my I don't know why, and then I'm gonna probably get up out of here. I don't know why there's this influx, and it's not just on Twitter anymore, because it was just on Twitter where I would have men hopping in my DMs on Twitter. Now it's like Facebook, and I'm just like, what the hell? Facebook is weird because it's not any of my, like, most of my people on Facebook are like longtime friends or family for the most part, but more recently, since people have been sharing my business posts and my brand posts, yeah, y'all, there's been like this uptick, or I don't even know, this increase in people sharing my like business and brand, predominantly business content on Facebook, which is like wild. So, but I also stopped putting the links in the caption because I've seen where creatives have said that like Facebook will shadow ban or mess with the algorithm. Been seeing people say that, but I would be like, but it's more convenient for me to put it in the caption for the people. But how is it convenient if nobody's gonna see it, Tam? Huh? 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 It's not. So I've been putting it in the comments instead, so that could be why. I don't know, but I've just seen like an increase in people sharing my content. And so then I've been getting more Facebook friends, and so I've been just adding them, cuz now I used to look at Facebook as like a different social media platform than Twitter and Instagram. Like, I almost, to some degree, it was like Facebook was just family and friends, so I would it just, I'm not gonna say I felt like it was private because it's social media, so I don't, whatever you put on the internet is out there. But it was just different. Like, it's not a Twitter for sure. But now I'm just kind of like, social media is social media, and it all can be used to gain exposure from our brand. So if somebody adds me, but then if you hop in my DMs instantly, that's annoying. Some people I ignore, and then some people like message again after I didn't even respond the first time. And I feel like those are scammers because oh, I hope you heard the good news. Leave me alone. Like, I'm not used to that on Facebook. And I'm also not used to men adding me and then hopping immediately in my DMs. Like, that hasn't been a thing on Facebook. That's been predominantly Twitter and Instagram. So that's kind of weird to me. It's a weird adjustment, but I know how to navigate it. So same thing. I'm not here for that. And then or some people I just ignore. I'm kind of getting more towards the just ignore it, because I'm not here for that. I don't care. Like, and you can tell when somebody is like, if somebody was on some networking stuff or whatever, you could tell what people are on, you know what I'm saying? And I used to kind of let it play out, but now it's like I'm just not even gonna respond it because there's such an increase suddenly, and it's weird, and it's not. I don't say it's weird. Like, I don't think I'm an unattractive person or anything like that. So I'm not saying that. This isn't me trying to like whatever, but I'm just saying it's weird because it hasn't been a thing. Even though there have been people that I've talked to, like some people I know outside of, podcasting or whatever, that would be like, you probably have a lot of people, and I'm like, no, it honestly wasn't until I became a podcaster, I should say content creator, because I feel like I'm so much more than a podcaster. Like, podcaster is limited, especially because I'm also a blogger and whatever. So once I became a content creator, that's when it really started more. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's annoying, but I also understand the more that you put yourself out there. So it's the downside of that means my brand is growing because now I have more new eyes that feel like, ooh, I want to hop in her DMs. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's good in that sense because I know my brand is growing on Facebook, but it's not good because it's like, and if ever it was something real, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's, oh, I want to be your friend, but you're asking me like, I know men are straight up when they're really for real. Like, and we're not talking about the men who maybe don't want to shoot their shot or whatever. So I'm not saying, and I've shot in many a shot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying I'm above that, but I'm saying that if you hop in my DMs and you're not being straight up and whatever, that's annoying because you're trying to pretend like you coming on some friendship stuff, but you're asking relationships that like none of my homies asked me. Like, I have a bunch of people that I interact with that are men that are content creators. Some of them I have their number. Some of them we just talk on the timeline and we laugh, we joke, whatever. And none of them have ever come at me like weird. But even the people who are like my friends that like we text or we may even talk on the phone or whatever, none of them come at me weird. So I know, and I've had other guy friends outside of it, but the reason I always use that population of people because those are people that I've kind of more so just met. So like these are new friends. These aren't friends that I've had forever or whatever. So it's like people can be polite and be whatever. People can like pictures. I don't think just because somebody likes my pictures or even if somebody sends a hard eyes and but none of my homies send me hard eyes. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so just because somebody likes a picture, I don't instantly think like, oh my gosh, he wants me. No, because I hope niggas don't think that because I may see somebody who I like their picture. They could be married, but I just like the picture of them. Not like, ooh, I think he's handsome, but I just like the picture. I hope their wife don't think just because I like their picture, I want them because I don't want nobody's husband, nobody's boyfriend, nobody's baby daddy. I don't want nobody's nothing. And again, as I've said before, anybody in the podcast community or any other space of networking that I meet people, like I just don't want that to be a part of it. Like I want whoever I end up to with, like this is my thing. And if I'm honest, I may never post them on social media. Like I'm just becoming more mindful that when you put your life out there, you put it out there for people to critique it and make comments on it. And like I haven't had a relationship since I've had social media. Like I didn't get a MySpace until after my divorce. So I don't even know what that's like to be on social media and be in a relationship. And I've been single since '07. So and shout out to the people that even like shout out to, I think about like Shayna and Spence. They're a married couple. They have podcasts, and they're like both have public platforms, and I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just because there's just so many people that are like looking at y'all. Or I even think about, I know Chris and Josh, her boyfriend, have done episodes together, and I'm pretty sure he has a podcast too. I'm trying to think of other married or dating people. There's no one that I could think of off the top of my head. So like, shout out to them, but I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how I want that to be separate. Y'all see, I don't even tag. I barely post my kids. I told my kids I might stop posting them all together, and then Kayliana felt some type of way because she likes my birthday posts because I do the video and the caption and whatever. And so I actually talked to her about that like last week, and she was like, "We'll do that after my birthday." So clearly she will feel some type of way. So that may though be the only time people see my kids, just because I don't know, the internet is a weird place. Like Twitter, I barely post anything with my kids. I don't even think I did a birthday video for last year because I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know what that will look like. The more I think about it, it gives me anxiety having all these people in my business, and people I know. Though it ain't even just about the people that don't know me, even like people that I know in like outside of that live here. I don't know if I want y'all to know who I'm with. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know if a man would feel some type of way about that. Maybe if I explained to him why, because it's not about me trying to be sneaky or nothing like that. Listen, if if somebody ends up and I find somebody that I actually like and we be together, like trust me, I don't have the energy to entertain anybody else if I'm fitting you in the busyness that I have going on. So I'm hoping like whoever will just understand that, because it's literally just that. Like that's just always something that I have had as private, so I just can't fathom having it be on social media. Plus, also, I would have to get used to even being in a relationship again because, man, it's been 15 years almost. Yeah, it's 22. Yep. So almost 15 years. So I don't know. And I'm not saying I want to stay single forever. And y'all know that because I've talked about that on there. Like, now that my kids are older, the thought comes up more and more. I just have to figure out what that looks like and try to beat somebody, because online dating, hell no. I don't know. So I don't really like worry about it all like that, and I'm content single, so it's not like I'm gonna do whatever just to make it happen. Yeah, I thought this episode was gonna be shorter. I guess I should just know I'm long-winded, and every time I say it's gonna be a short episode, it really isn't. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. So appreciate y'all. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Shout out to the Snatched 40s journey. I'm seeing that my clothes are starting to fit different. So the journey is journeying and stuff has happened, even though I don't think I've worked out in the last month. Part of it has been because my sleep schedule has been so, like, I've had a lot of like insomnia, and it's not healthy for me to be trying to work out when I didn't sleep well the night before. So I really haven't worked out for sure. I'm pretty not at February at all, but I don't remember when in January was the last time I worked out. But the journey is still journeying though, y'all. Like, stuff is still happening. So happy about that. I guess that's it. So thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for